All right, so this is Sufferance. For those who know, I'm pretty sure you don't really need an introduction. He has 170K subscribers. So you want to check him out? Go ahead. Link in the description. All that great stuff. If this becomes a video, so it says all 35 best new manga ranked and explained. This is 21 minutes. I know I said not anything past 20, nothing higher than 20 minutes, but I'll make an exception because I didn't get to do any artwork. I've been too busy trying to post on Instagram. And I'm finally near done, so I can go back and do some artwork and do the study on skin again for the millionth time. Okay, let's get to it.
By a couple of years. Today I'm going to rank and explain 35 new manga. Some you've heard about, some are brand new, and others are a little bit older by a couple of years. I have 4 tier lists: must read, good read, alright, and /give it time. This is my personal experience with these stories, and I will place them accordingly. Girl Meets Rock is a fun story, simple slice of life about a teenage girl starting to play music and really falling in love with it. A lot of comedy, a lot of goofy moments, but very sincere. I think it has great potential and a lot of people will really enjoy it. Kindergarten Wars is the answer, the sister story to Sakamoto Days. A lot more comedy, but still having that crazy high octane action. It's about kindergarten teachers that are ex-hitmen, assassins, etc., protecting the wealthy's children. It's a very fun time and I had a blast reading it. It's quirky, it's got a lot of action moments in it, and it's currently entering its final arc and hopefully getting an anime soon. Goku Rakugai is a monthly manga that is very good. Beautiful artwork, very interesting story, and has a ton of potential. I like what it's doing. Follows 2 characters, an older woman and a younger guy, that operate as fixers. They help people. The world is filled with a ton of chaos, monsters within it, alongside these human/beast hybrids. Ganchi Akuta is one of the best weekly reads that you can have currently. Probably one of the prettiest mangas out. Got a super interesting story, a ton of mystery, really lovable characters, and I adore it to its core. It feels very refreshing reading this story, and I think all of you will really love it. It's about this young boy that gets sentenced to death and thrown off this cliffside city down into the wasteland below, only to find that there's civilization down here. Within the death and the trash, there's these hideous trash monsters, cool abilities, and a really thriving identity and aesthetic that feels everything. Dana is a little bit older on this list, but such a creative and fun, refreshing story. Every single week is something new, something beautiful, something goofy. You never know what you're going to get, and it pays off exponentially. This author has been thriving for years, one of the most talented within the industry artistically, so please do give Dana a chance if you haven't already. It is more than worth your time. It also has an incredible anime adaptation. It's about aliens and spirits and curses, and both worlds colliding together with these humans with superpowers that are trying to fight these aliens but also fight these curses and spirits. It's a messed up, confusing, all over the place experience, but beautifully told. Pinch of romance, a ton of comedy, and a great time all round. Kangurabanchi is pristine. I love this manga. Every single week is so fascinating to dig into. Ton of aura, ton of beautiful writing, memorable characters, super strong action. It is the complete package. It's about these enchanted swords that are like nuclear weapons, and this young guy's kind of goal to hunt them all down and to put them back to where they belong. Ichi the Witch is a lovely experience. I adore reading this.
Finally, I can finally pay attention to not only to the stream, the reactions, so I can go back to my artwork. I'm done posting. I don't think I'll post till tomorrow. I don't think you guys gotta get that. I don't think you guys gotta get majority of those videos up to 100 likes. I'll be surprised if you guys do.
Every week, and I'm so excited to see this year and how much it thrives within it. It's a magical story, but the main character does not have magic. The whole world is filled with magic, but men do not have it, until one day a young hunter obtains said magic and becomes the first male witch in history. MAD or MAD is phenomenal. Early Attack on Titan vibes, crazy, chaotic, a pinch of Kaizen, a pinch of Chainsaw Man. It is a wonderful, unexpected experience. If you haven't read this story, if you know nothing about it, please go check it out, go give it a chance. You won't regret it. One of the best stories that I read last year, and I am so excited to see it continue to thrive. It's about a world that's been dominated by aliens, but humans are starting to evolve. They are trying to mimic these alien evolutions by transforming humans into said aliens as weaponry. Think of them like Titan shifters. But it's not easy, it's not simple, and the main character is on a mission to potentially obliterate everything. Galaxius isn't all too bad. I've had a fun time with it admittedly, but I think it needs to give me just a little bit more, something more to chew on, and potentially that will come with more chapters and time. So far, I think it's a serviceable story and a lot of people can get enjoyment out of it. I do think it has a great chance of having a bright future. It is a fantasy world where these human-dragon hybrids exist and they kind of dominate everything, both politically and power. And these two people, a young girl and this human dragon hybrid, are traveling through it, trying to find their way and uncover mysteries. It's a very big adventure. The Chojin X is unbelievably perfect. By the hands of Sue Ishida, the creator of Tokyo Ghoul, this is his next installment, and it is some of his best work. With writing, with art, with ideas, with characters, everything. A must-read experience that you need to check out. Complete freedom to create. It's a very lore-driven, power-fueled world where these beings known as Chojin exist. A power that is either passed down or born through an experiment that reflects the user's personality to some degree. It's dark and gritty and centers around a prophecy where one will either destroy and annihilate the world or potentially save it. Ashura's verdict is very new and it has a lot of time to grow. It's edgy, it's gross, it's a lot to deal with, but not too bad. Similar to those very heavy on-the-nose revenge stories, it will eventually find its audience, and in regards to potential, could have some very interesting conflict. It's about a young kid that has this super obnoxious purpose to do good within the world and take out all of the evil within it. He gets his hand on a key that, when inserted into a bad person, will send them into hell. A gate opens up and a devilish creature comes out and takes them. So it's up to him to go around and...
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know about that one, bro. That's just overpoweredly kill. What the hell?
Pass judgment on all the bad people that he can find. Yatara didn't really click with me. Admittedly, it's still early within its story, but something about it just felt off. Maybe I wasn't really enjoying the premise because it wasn't all too strong. Maybe the over-the-top treatment for the characters or the situation that they were in. I'm not entirely sure, but it was a little bit I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but potentially if you give it more time, it could evolve into something a little bit more fruitful. But personally, I find the main premise of the story very, very weak. Centuria is absolutely amazing. I think it's a must read. One of the more interesting stories to come out in recent years. Very beautifully drawn, a lot of great ideas and characterization. It's filled to the brim with beautiful potential. It's about a young boy that gets sold to slavery that ends up making a contract with an outer god that represents the sea. So he now has all of these godly-like abilities. He's incredibly strong, he can't really die, he can breathe underwater, and there's other people out there that are similar to him, not only contracted to the same god, but potentially different gods within this world, and they want to kill him. Blooming Love wasn't too bad. It's a pretty standard romance story, but I think what it was doing,
Never heard
doing
this
pretty
one.
well. Cute characters and their relationship with how it grows over time. It's a very standard romance story. It's about this couple that kind of go through their day-to-day life trying to figure out themselves, really. What they're good at, how they interact with each other, how they come together, and how they build, learn, and love over time. Ruri Dragon has all of my attention and all of my love. I think this is one of the best written stories in recent years.
I've seen people bring up this manga a lot. This Ruri Dragon thing. Is it that good? It just looks like it feels like it's like a slice of life, kind of like what's the anime called? Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It kind of gives me that vibe.
comes to dialogue, there's something about it that's so energetic and lively and characteristic. There's an aesthetic and a style to it that is so interesting. It's so compelling to read. Every character talks differently and has a charm and quirk relating to them. It just feels beautifully conceptualized, beautifully understood, and is really just a beautiful reading experience. I highly recommend it. It's a coming of age story about a young girl going through a dragonification process. She's a human and a dragon hybrid, so she's...
Okay. It's not like a battle anime or shonen or anything disguised as such. Does it do that thing like in Kobayaki Dragon Maid where it's like, it's slice of life, but it's mainly has some crazy like fight scenes or something? Is it like that?
Starts to sprout horns and breathe fire, etc., and she has to learn how to deal with that while also dealing with school and the way people treat her for having these dragon-like abilities. Simple, sweet, very beautifully understood. It's a great time. Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi. Don't kill me for this. I think it's alright. I'm actually caught up to this story and I'm still not hooked on it yet. I'm not convinced. While I do think it has a lot of potential, I think it does a lot of things well, it just doesn't really scream to me. Maybe it's not my cup of tea, maybe I'm reading a lot of other stories that steal its spotlight, I'm not too sure. There's something about it that just doesn't really want me to come back to it, but I do recognize that it can be a fun time and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. It's about an exorcist that is originally scared of doing his job, but he looks scary, so all of these curses, demons, devils, whatever, fear him, and he quickly gets over that attitude. He starts to become very proficient with what he does, he starts to exorcise all of these people, and he starts to create a group of friends that can help him accomplish what he wants to do. Himiten is another romance story that I didn't think I would like, but I think because of its simplicity and the quirk that it plays upon, it survives really well. It's a fun read, a good one, and I think if you're looking for a romance that's a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more playful, simple in design, but has that quirk or charm to it in regards to its characters, Himiten is a very good place to start. It's about this high school boy that is a proficient cleaner and he takes this job for another student that is also an incredibly popular business runner. Conflict is that she goes to school with him, but she's also very popular online in regards to her brand, and he is cleaning her house and all of the quirky stuff that comes with it. So they have to keep it secret, hide it from people within school, etc. Shinobi Undercover, unfortunately, is not for me. I just could not get into this story for the life of me. I tried a couple of times, not really a strong enough hook, I guess. I think maybe over time it could grow given the chance, but honestly I just don't think it's for me. It's about a very proficient ninja, shinobi, whatever, that has to protect someone who is within a school, so they apply to that school, and then a bunch of other ninjas and people are also students at that school. It's like a cat and mouse game trying to protect the asset. Sidcraft, Love is Mystery, also not really for me. I enjoyed this author's previous work, so I thought I would enjoy this. Unfortunately, not at the moment. Personally, I feel it's trying to do too much, a little bloated, a little over the top and exaggerated, played out, and at the moment I just cannot get into it. But maybe over time and the track record that I know this author has, they could smooth out the process and hopefully make something a little bit more interesting. It's about a detective that's similar to Sherlock Holmes, very good at what they do, but absolutely hate that they do it. They don't want to be a detective, they just find themselves within that circumstance constantly, and now they have a reputation. Akane Banashi is a must read, I think. It's incredibly well put together, it has a super unique plot I don't think has been done in manga before, and the way it's shown, the way it's drawn, very strong character work and dialogue. It's a beautiful experience and I think a lot of you should give it a chance. It might turn you off at first, but trust me, it is very good. It's about a style of stage play, and this young girl...
Oh yeah, this one about the stage play thing. I think it's supposed to be like a voice acting thing or some type of... they're actually acting or something?
Wants to master that type of stage play. She's very good at it. Basically, you go on stage, you are by yourself, you act out a certain poem or sequence, and you have to provide all of it yourself. It's an interesting concept that you don't see often, and you'll probably learn a lot too. Hero Organization isn't all too bad. it. I do enjoy it, I do have fun with it, but I need it to do a little bit more personally. I like the ideas that it has. I like how it's going about those ideas. It's just capitalizing on them at the moment feels iffy, but I'm excited to see the potential I know it has. It's about this boy that's going into the military with mechs and fighting these outer alien creatures that are invading Earth, but really he's trying to uncover a military plot, a murder plot, and all of this other political nonsense in between. It can be very full on and heavy. Stellar Friends is brand new, and I think it's a good
Stellar
time.
Friends?
I like the idea, I like the execution, I like the
Stellar Friends. Never heard that one. Okay.
grotesque grittiness of it. It's a very compelling start. In terms of its future, I'm not too sure what this story can provide or how far it can truly go, but it is setting itself up to be rather intuitive when it comes to length. It's about two young children that are very, very close to each other, and one of them dies, but the other makes a wish, and this little starfish creature grants that wish, but kind of in the worst way possible. So it's up to this child now, with this resurrected friend of theirs, thanks to the wish, to fight other wishes, because only one wish can be granted to said Earth. Oversleeping Takahashi is a fun story, and I think it does have a lot of potential, but I'm very iffy on it. I'm always back and forth. At one point I really enjoy what it's doing, nothing all too crazy, and then at other points I think it's cutting and jumping and really jarring to read, so I'm a little bit iffy on it. I think it's alright at the moment after its first kind of arc, but the way that arc was put together was just a little bit rough for me. It's a slice of life superhero story, but it has a lot of reminiscence to the likes of Kaizen, for example. This one kid has a lot of potential and abilities to obliterate all of his enemies, and now he's getting thrown into a world of deeper, darker, and grittier mysteries, so to speak. Wild Strawberry lost me. At first, I thought the story was rather interesting. I was kind of having fun with it, and then over time it just trickled away. I'm not really the biggest fan of it, and it just couldn't really get back into it, to be honest. It's about a world that's overthrown by plants, and the main character is a human-plant hybrid that joins a faction to help fight against this newfound threat. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity is arguably one of the best romance mangas in many, many years. This story gets to the point, doesn't beat around the bush. You want romance, you will get it in all of its glory, and it's definitely one of the better ones. The character work within here, the sensitivity of it, the emotional rebounds, everything just feels and is executed in a really beautiful, beautiful way. It's about this one guy who looks very much like a delinquent, and his school is for delinquents, but this young girl treats him differently, like a person, like a human, and he starts to open up and change, and alongside his friends and alongside her friends, they all change together, and the original perception of each other is gone entirely. The Bugle Call is fantastic. I love this manga. I love what it does. I love its characters. I love its powers. Everything about this story screams me. It has so much potential, and I think this year, maybe next year, it's going to have so much more going for it, and more people are going to find out about it, so please do give it a chance. It is 100% worth your time. It's a medieval story where certain people have superpowers, and these superpowered people fight within those wars. The main character has the ability to lead a massive army using a bugle. It's kind of like a trumpet, leading this army against other superpowered people. Astro Roy.
So technically he gives a major buff. That's his power, getting buffs. What do you think of it that way? My power is getting buffs to other people, pretty much. That's crazy. That's how you glorify a power. What's up, Nancy?
Royale isn't all too bad. I don't know if it's the plot, I don't know if it's the characters, there's something about it that's just not clicking yet, but I do think it could click within the future. I have my eyes on it. It's not the worst thing I've read, but it's also not the best, and I think it's competing with a lot of stories currently. However, it does have potential, and I hope it does well. It's about a main character that steps up into the role of being a leader to this gang that runs within his family, and he wants to run it his way, more respectful, more morally driven compared to a lot of the other gangs or family members that he has. Sprinkle in some superpowers and you have a delinquent, superpowered action manga. News Exorcist isn't a bad story. It's alright. I just couldn't get into it. I don't think the story is a little bit weak for me. Maybe it's competing with a lot of other stuff as well. I just couldn't find myself coming back to it. But I do think it has a lot of potential, a lot of room to grow, a lot of room to spread its wings, and the more it continues, the more people are falling in love with it. So I hope it does do well. It's about exorcists and this kid that goes to school that makes contact with said spirit, and they fuse together to hunt down spirits that are causing problems. Rugby Rumble can be a fun time, but I believe, and please do correct me if I'm wrong, its translation is completely AI. It seems to be one of those stories you can kind of tell with how certain things are translated, and it just makes it feel not very good or alive. Pretty flat and bland in the dialogue department. If that's not the case, I apologize to whoever's translating it. It just feels weird in that regard. Narratively, like the idea of the story itself, it's pretty interesting. It's a standard rugby story, but the main character is like Goliath, behemoth, meathead that has...
I find it funny that rugby is not as popular as it should be compared to like football, American football. I find it funny that it's not that like popular. Like I believe is much more dangerous compared to like football. Like we make the like here in America
Nancy said that lighting is be pretty.
I guess so. I'm doing a study, but it's like it's funny like how we in America says like how dangerous it is like to play football because like head injuries and brain injuries, blah blah blah. And just injuries in general.
Nancy asks Artex, did you play Creek?
Creek, or you mean cricket? Creek, I don't know, it's Creek or cricket. And it's funny because like it's like 6 foot men. Like you have, I think the requirement you have to be like 6'7" or something. Like you have to be some specific like height, and it has to be I think at least minimum 6 foot or more. And it's like these giant men who just run into each other. They're not wearing pads like that. Like they're not wearing any safety gear. They just run at each other full force with. It's crazy. So I'm surprised that it's not as popular as it should be, or it is. Like it actually, I think majority of most rugby players make football players look small by comparison. It's kind of weird.
Never seen civilization ever. Just some massive kid from the mountains that starts to play rugby. Smother Me is a very, very good story. Recently recommended by the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure author. Unfortunately, it has ended. Seemingly quite naturally though. The story could have gone on for a very long time, but maybe the author just had this vision of a short story. Beautifully told, it's beautifully drawn, and it's a lot of great ideas and beautiful characterization work, so I think it's very much worth your time. It's about a kid in this very lawless city with hitmen and assassins and killers, gangsters, etc. And this kid is one of those hitmen and assassins. He goes around killing other hitmen and assassins and realistically wanted to create a world, or at least a city, to resemble a good, peaceful place where people wouldn't have to kill each other. That is the goal and that is the dream. Nightlight Hounds, also a very good read. It's by the author of Levius. Super fun, super interesting. You're mixing vampires and werewolves, the artistic prowess of this author. It is a great experience, and I think it has a lot of potential to be really, really big in the future. It's about vampires that have morphed into more gang affiliation, and these werewolf bounty hunters trying to police those vampire gangs. This main guy is a normal human, a part of one of those vampire gangs as a double agent, a rat. So he has to navigate the vampires, the werewolves, and uncover all of these secrets without getting killed. Megakoro Scramble is an alright read. Nothing all too crazy yet, nothing all too special, but a fun little time. It's a cutesy romance story, but with the added benefit of like special abilities. The main character can read people's minds, and even though he looks like a delinquent and everybody avoids him, this one girl has a crush on him. Her ability, however, is that she is incredibly unlucky and gets into very horrible circumstances and situations. So he feels
how horrible are we talking?
That he must protect her. Mix that with a bunch of other people with special abilities within school, and you have very chaotic, weird time. Blue Box is a good read, but a very, very slow romance. Sometimes that's the issue with weekly romance manga, but I still think it's very much worth your time. It's one of the older stories on this list, but is doing really well for itself, and its anime is absolutely exceptional. Nothing all too special or crazy, just a simple romance between two characters, one striving to be a professional badminton player and the other striving to be a professional basketball player, while living coincidentally under the same roof. Last but not least, Chainsaw Man Part 2. I put this in here separately, only focusing on Part 2 because I think it is a phenomenal experience. While it definitely has its ups and downs, just like any story, I think some of the work that Fujimoto has done solely within Part 2 is beautiful. Asa Mitaka and Yoru have been a highlight for me for many years now. I love their character, and I think Fujimoto is doing a lot of great work. I'm excited to see how this story comes to an end, and potentially what he decides to do with the Chainsaw Man universe. In my opinion, it is a must read, and if for whatever reason you don't know anything about Chainsaw Man Part 2, it continues where the first part ended, following a brand new character who has merged with one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, war, and eventually Denji comes back and they have a bit of a thing for each other. Do read it. It is a fantastic time. I probably could move around a couple of things, but for the most part, I am satisfied. If you've read any of these or have your own lists or rankings, whatever, please do let me know. I'd love to hear them.
Alright, so this was Sufferance. I don't know if I'm still going to make this into a video because it was really long. I try not to make them too long anymore. I try and make them at least 10 minutes or less, max 15, but since I didn't get to do a lot of art today, I made an exception. So thank you, Sufferance, for that. I'll put his channel in the description if you guys enjoy his voice or his recommendations or his overall opinions.
Ryu the Samurai said good video.
Yes. Like, subscribe, share, follow, and comment. I hope you guys enjoy this and all that great stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yes.